I said I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I do apologize if I get a little bit choked up, but I think we all understand. First and foremost, I wanted all of us that have shared any time with Boris. We're going to start off with doing his business for charity, Delta Sigma Pi Creed, which is going to be led by Raynard Morgan, one of his brothers from Delta Sig. Ray, please come up.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning. Good evening, friends. Good evening, Sir Sammy. Good evening, Sammy. And all my family. Delta Sigma Pi is a professional fraternity organized to foster the study of business in universities, to encourage scholarship, social activity, and the association of students for their mutual advancement by research and practice, to promote closer affiliation between the commercial world and students of commerce, and to further a higher standard of commercial ethics and culture, and the civic and commercial welfare of the community. Boris lived and exemplified the values of Delta Sigma Pi. He was professional, service-oriented, scholarship-driven, and social. He goes down in the history books as a founding father of the Chi Omega chapter of Delta Sigma Pi, and he's also in the history books as a brother of Delta Sigma Pi who contributed invaluably to our chapter and to the organization. Boris Vanier is a brother of commerce. Boris Vanier is a Delta Sigma Pi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. And now, Sigma from you will start their creed, led by one of his best friends, his pledge brother, my pledge brother, our brother Sigma from you, Miles Fox.
You foster and maintain among your sons a spirit of fraternity, a spirit of mutual moral aid and support, to instill and maintain in the hearts of the sons love for and loyalty to alma mater and its ideals, to inculcate among your sons such ideals as love of actions worthy of the highest precepts of manhood, democracy, and humanity.
Thank you, guys. Boris touched a lot of people, as you can obviously see here. I don't know how everybody knows him, but obviously you know him somehow. Boris he was my best friend and my brother. But when we would talk about things like this, when we were reflecting on life, he said he wanted to be a party, not something sad. So I know it's hard to do that, but I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and I'll pass it on to Dan here.
Now that we all have done our formal parts, as you all see, I'm wearing a chapter jersey, my fraternity chapter jersey, board shorts, and sandals. Who do I look like right now? He probably would have been upset at me if I came very professional. So I decided to do the Boris style. I want to be last to talk about Boris. I wanted to give you guys, anybody, now the opportunity to share any type of story, any type of involvement, anything that you have the privilege to share with Boris, to us and to his parents. You can raise your hands, and I guarantee you I will call each and every one of you, and we will listen to each and every one of you. I'm going to start off with Natalie. Yes, she's coming up here now.
Can everyone hear me? Awesome. Even in the back, I was there. My name's Natalie. I met Boris in 2009. We were introduced through a mutual friend. His name was Anthony Goro. I don't know if any of you knew him. But Boris and I immediately hit it off. I'm sure, like most of you, he was one of the most amazing souls that I've ever encountered. And I know that he is probably so excited that he is the cause of this, bringing together so many different people. Because Boris was one of those rare people that loved people. I'm trying to find, I have this Mary Poppins bag, and I stuck an email that he had written me last year in there, because I thought I'd share one of the funnier stories that I have from Boris. I'm sure everyone has millions of them. But he sent me this email last year, and he said, so as many of you know, he quit his job in corporate America back in June of 2010. And he was writing emails to all these different entrepreneurs, trying to get funding for things, and he told me, hey, so I made the spelling type error of the year. I usually sign things with kind regards, because I like to put a little kindness in the world. And my finger slipped and I wrote kind retards. and I noticed it, but I figured, I might as well make him laugh. They're not going to give me money. And so he went ahead and sent that kind retards. So I don't know if any of you are sending any professional emails anytime soon. You could sign a kind retard on behalf of Boris. But so I send a lot of love to you all. I send a lot of love to his parents. I actually had the privilege of talking to Boris a few days before he passed away. And he was really filled with a lot of love, more than anything. So he was a very loving person, and he definitely, he touched a lot of lives. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Eddie?
Thank you, Eddie. What's up, everybody? Most of you know me by Stanky. I'm Eddie. For those of you that don't know, I was actually roommates. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I was roommates with Boris. Oh my goodness, was that a disaster. He would show up at like 5 in the morning, and he'd leave his radio on, blasting, lock his door, and I couldn't sleep. But the guy was enjoying life every second. He did not waste a moment of his life. I'd say I could compare him to a 50-year-old because he lived that much all day long, just positive, sharing that energy, just being a great person. He's the type of guy that he would never tell you no. He would always be there for you. He was a perfect brother for us. And the guy was crazy. But I'm thinking of all the stories that I could tell about him. But we can really sit here and talk forever. And I mean, anybody who met Boris just knows that much. I think he was one of the smartest guys, one of the most brilliant guys I've ever met in my life. I had the opportunity of founding Delta Sigma Pi with him. And the ideas that he would come up with and the follow through and all of that was just amazing. Something, how do you come up with this? And there were great ideas. If there's anything we can learn about him, it's always stay positive, enjoy life, take those chances, go out there, be yourself, and you'll succeed in life because, that's what he did. Love the guy, and may he rest in peace, but I can't just help but just laugh at everything that we had together. I'll just give you guys a little story. One time he hacked into the PyCap website. He started posting stuff about him and creating a whole war with the perpetrator. But it was great. And another thing, I was having a bad day one day. He posted on Facebook, now he had a good day. He posted, excuse me, but he posted a nice naked picture on my Facebook too. He said, "May this brighten your day." So that's the type of guy Boris was, and we always remember him for that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Stanky. Anyone else? his big brother.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ricky Rodriguez. I was Boris' big brother. As we have heard throughout the night, Boris was an extreme individual, a great example of a human being with extreme insight into the business world, as some of you may know, who shared with him in his business fraternity, or who knew him personally. But also from the human aspect, he had something, as you have all mentioned, his positive qualities. But there are a couple things that we can take from him and learn from him by his example. One of them was to be authentic. Boris was always authentic. He wasn't afraid to be who he was. And I think that's a model for all of us. Sometimes, we try to fit in or we try to follow the status quo. Boris was a true inspiration for those who want to be authentic. He never was afraid to show who he was. And I think that is an important message all of us must take, home tonight. And to know that we have somebody above, whether you believe or not, to know that at least we have an inspiration. Somebody who took that first step, who's there as a reminder for all of you to be yourselves, to never be ashamed of yourselves, and to be authentic. It's very important in today's world to follow his example and to be authentic. And another thing that he showed us all was to follow your dreams, to not be afraid. He wasn't afraid to be himself, and he wasn't afraid to take risks, to go and follow his dreams. As we heard earlier on, he rejected personally. He wanted to find his adventure, and he wasn't afraid to follow through. From our various chats, because he was an international man on the internet, you could always see that he was always traveling the world. He was a very cultured individual, and he wasn't afraid to follow his dreams, whether in the business sense or in the human sense. So I think those are two important points that we can take from him. He has many more, and each of you probably have different examples and different qualities we can follow. But for me, what I would like to share with you through his life is that we become authentic people and we follow our dreams and never be afraid of that. And just remember now, I was his big brother, but now he's with the big brother above, and he's watching all over us. So I ask all of you to keep him in your prayers. And for those of you, who believe, now that we have somebody above who's praying for us and watching over us. And with that, I ask, God bless all of you. Que Dios lo bendiga and que Dieu vous bénisse. Merci.
Thank you, Ricky. Is there anyone else? I can't see you. Father. Kevin Cortina.
Hey everybody. I'm a little bit out of character today. I know I'm a lot louder and it's a little tough. But I just wanted to thank you guys. And I know this group of guys really meant a lot to him. And it was a struggle at first when I first met him. He was a pain in the ass. Thought he knew it all. He ran to me, a lot of me. And, wow, we butt heads a lot, but man, he had a lot of heart. He always saw the good things. He had a lot of joy in his heart. And everything he did it with everybody else said, with positivity. And man, I'm just happy that I got to know him. Brother yesterday, he was really, really hurt, just like I was, and we were talking on the phone, and he said something to me. He said, I'll never get to shake his hand again. I'll never get to hug him again. And I said to him, yeah, bro, but you know what? You got to remember, we had the right and we got the privilege to have had the opportunity to shake his hand and to give him a hug, and we got to be very grateful for that. I'm damn proud to have known him, and I'm damn proud to be his son.
Anyone else?
For those that don't know me, my name is Bobby. Boris and I were pledge brothers. Can you hear me? All right. Boris and I were pledge brothers, and when we started, it's just so funny because I can tell you, I can sit here and talk to you about, you know, all the crazy things he did, but there's always one story that sticks out in my mind more than anything else. Back in the day, we joined the fraternity in 2003. We all started FIU in 2003, and he had this old school computer, and it had a translator on it. So you type words in, and it would translate it into different languages and things like that, and it would, you know, tell you the correct way of pronouncing the words. And he also had this really loud sound system. So what he would do was he would crank it up so that it would annoy the RA on duty, which was actually Mark Silver, our pledge master. And he would crank it up with and put some words that were really inappropriate to be hearing. So it sounded like it was a computer basically getting it on. So, I mean, but that was who he was. And he wanted everyone to laugh. He wanted everybody to chill and relax and be who they were. But that was him. I mean, he could sit there and bring a smile to your face, and people would knock on his door and like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm laughing. That's what I'm doing. I'm laughing." And he goes, "Are you laughing?" They go, "It's annoying." He goes, "But are you laughing?" But he would do that just so that he can bring a smile to at least one person's face. If he annoyed someone in the process, it's okay because he made at least one person smile. And that's what I'll always remember about Boris. He's up there watching down on us now. And brother, you made such a great impact on us. I mean, just damn proud to have known him. He's always going to be with me and with all of us here. Damn proud.
Hello. I'm going to keep it short. There's no amount of words that could sum up who Boris was or what he was. Is that better in the back? Thank you. If everybody knows Boris, he lived his life every day to the fullest. He never let up a moment. He was there in the moment every time. I don't think I've ever heard Boris say, "No, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to that, party or that whatever." Boris was always there for you. If you invited him, he'd come. He lived in the moment. He enjoyed every second of his life, and he touched a lot of us. So, if there's one thing we could all learn from Boris, enjoy your life. Don't take things seriously. You never saw Boris stressed. You never saw him upset. You never saw him in a bad mood. And that's something we all have to take to heart. Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy each other's presence. I'm seeing a lot of faces here I haven't seen in a long time. It's unfortunate we have to gather under these circumstances. But Boris, he was a networker, obviously. There's a lot of us here that wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't for Boris. So appreciate each other. Enjoy each other's presence. Tell your best friend I love you. Okay? You might not know when you get to say it again. And I know Boris is looking at us. He's wondering why we haven't started the music and the party yet. But we love you, man. And we're gonna miss you. And there's nothing, again, I could say to express what you meant to all of us. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Danny over here, behind you.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I used to work with Boris, but it was so much more than that. And talk louder, okay. It was so much more than that. Not only because for April Fool's Day we decided to be in a Facebook relationship, so a lot of you have probably clicked on my profile before. And I'll always remember our anniversary. So actually we told each other happy anniversary this year. So we both didn't enjoy our job so much. And I'm so glad that he did what he wanted to do. And I was so happy for him. At the same time, I couldn't look forward to lunch with him anymore. We had our little code of WFL, what's for lunch. So we would do that basically every day. So I missed that since the day he quit, but I'm so happy he did and followed his dreams. So that's how I came to the US. I'm from Germany, and I really fell in love with Miami, and he made me feel so welcome from the first day I started at the workplace. So everyone there is also very sad to hear the news, so I want to just send the love from everyone at Hellman, where he worked. So just live your life every day to the fullest. Follow your dreams. That's the lesson I get.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roman?
Good evening. And sorry, I've been rehearsing this over and over in my head as Rose was talking. And when you're actually standing up, in front of everybody, it's not as easy to talk, but I'll do my best. Anybody that's known me and that's known Boris know that we didn't exactly start off on the best of circumstances in this fraternity. And it speaks volumes as to how amazing of a person he is to be able to forgive and forget, these circumstances, and to be able to, turn all of that around, and obviously we patched our things up and all that, and, every time I saw him, whenever something fun was going on, you knew Boris would be there, If there was even one person having a beer and having a good time, you knew he'd be there, somewhere. You turn around, there was Boris. And, I, just like everybody else has spoken here, I never saw Boris without a smile on his face. He could be dead tired. He didn't sleep the night before, inebriated, not, who cares? He would always be smiling. And that's something we all need to take into ourselves and learn, that no matter how bad things get, you need to have a smile on your face. Even now, the reason why we're all gathered here is for Boris. Still, he continues to make us smile and laugh. That's power. And that's just who Boris was. And it's all smile and laugh, and, he would have loved to be here with all of us. And he is. He's with us right now. We all feel it, we all know it. But, Dan probably is Sammy.
Anyone else? Okay. I'll keep mine brief. I could be up here for probably months or a whole year talking about Boris. I also rushed Sigma Alpha Mu in 2003 with Boris. I went through the formalities, but I didn't get to really know anyone. On my rush invitational dinner, they told us, you can sit wherever you want. I did not know anyone. I was there with my date, without a clue in my head. I see Boris. If I am not mistaken, I think he went with 2 dates. He went with 2 dates. And he said, hey, sit over here. We sat, I think there was like grass or whatever, and I just started to get to know who Boris really was. He was outspoken, sometimes too much. He told it how it is. He told it to your face. But that's what I loved about Boris. I almost killed Boris once. We decided to do an event within our own pledge class. And yes, we had something to drink. I never showed my true colors. Boris made me show my true colors that day. He decided to go behind my back and push me very, very hard. I turned around and went after Boris. From a smile came afraid, came scared. He thought I was really gonna kill him, which I was. Afterwards, he kept trying to hug me while my whole pledge class was holding me down. Yet he still had the nerve, with a smile, to come up to me and says, "I was just playing, bro." And from that day forward, every time I see Boris, I would say, "Damn it, Boris." Because Boris always pushed your buttons, but if there was someone that would be a friend, if there was someone that you could call upon no matter what, it was Boris. He was unorthodox. He came from a military school and couldn't do not one push-up. Everyone thought that he was going to be like the next Captain America, but he could not even run a mile. Like, we could be here literally the whole year, but Boris will ever be in my heart. I know Boris will be in each and every one of your hearts. I know he's damn proud that we're all here. I know he's damn proud that he founded the business fraternity. I know he's damn proud that he rushed Sigma from you. He's definitely damn proud that he came to FIU. We all could learn something from Boris. He partied hard, but he worked hard. And that is the truth. He probably partied more than I did and worked just as hard. So remember this day, not as a mourning, but as a celebration of Boris. You wouldn't want to be here, I guarantee it. But you're here. Look to your left, look to your right. Each and every one of us are part of his family. Just as he was part of you. Before we link up for a moment of silence, one of his other best friends, his also pledge brother, wrote a poem for Boris. Jose.
Hello, all y'all. It's nice to see everybody here. I'm seeing faces I haven't seen in a minute. To Boris's parents, I haven't seen them in such a long time, and to see their faces of grief, it really hurts me. It destroys me. That's the part that hurts me the most. Like everybody said, he was always positive, charismatic. Never had a worry. I've never seen him sad, never seen him depressed, never seen him mad, angry. Ladies man, he could tell anything to a woman and she would be at his knees, whether it was disrespectful or not. Nobody else that I know, me and Miles would talk about this all the time. We'd be like, how does this kid do this? He's the only kid I know that me and Miles and him would go out and he'd be the one with like 6 ladies around his arm, and he would be saying things you couldn't even imagine, that any lady here would be like, nah, I couldn't do it, but he did. He did it. I don't know how. It was his charisma. It was his personality. He would play around with you in ways that people might think it would be offensive, but he carried his spirit with him, and everybody saw what the real him was about. I guess the ladies saw it. Everybody saw it, you know. A lot of love for him. You know, it's been really hard in the past 3 days for me to get through this. You know. I wrote a couple words down today to see if I can get some of the pain out of my system. It's been really hard for me to do that, because this little poem that I wrote is not even 1% of what I really feel, and I feel like I need to start writing to him and talking to him for self-therapy, to get through this. I need to write to him, like if he's still here or wherever he's at, I need to write to him and let him know how I feel, because this little poem doesn't do enough for me to get through it, So I'm gonna read this real quick. If somebody could hold the mic and a light for me. Somebody could hold the light. I'm broken beyond repair. I just realized that losing a best friend is one of my biggest fears. And with you no longer here, my lungs gasp for air. Emotionally impaired from losing someone near I've known for more than 8 years. But as tight as brothers in flight, despite different mothers, it's like it was born to unite as a soul who supported your sights. Now, you're born to the light. I try to go to sleep, but live horrors at night. It's like I'm cornered in fright. Out of breath at the thought of your death, a loss of the flesh. For thoughts and respect, I ripped out a part of my chest. My body's empty inside because my organs fled and the particles departed and left. I need a nautical vest to keep me afloat as I'm lost in the depths. But what keeps me in check is the thought of the breeze. You would seize off in the beach, so I park and release my thoughts in the sand for you to read off of the land. While there, I'll just darken and tan, starting and staring at the ocean, hoping that my heart will expand. Because now, I'm just part of a man. Some say it's just part of the plan. You came from the skies as a star in his clan to shine on the people you touched. And being as such, God saw what you accomplished and needed you much. He needed you back, receiving your wings. I'm weaving the winds to see you one last time as they're reading my sins. The gates closed and the angels proceeded to sing. With the missing link, returning to earth, I tell myself, Boris, one day I'll see you again. And that's all I felt tonight. There's a lot more in my heart. Thank you. That doesn't even bring to a whole what I feel, not even 1%. I just have so many thoughts inside, and I know Miles feels me, and I know that right now Miles is headed over there to Panama, and his feelings are just, he shares the same feelings I do, because me, Miles, and Boris had a trifecta going on. We were the squad, man. If you saw us on campus, you knew what it was. For a lot of people, it was trouble. People thought there was something bad was gonna happen if we were around, But at the end of the day, the people who really got to know us for who we are knew that we were about love and peace and just making people smile, just like Boris did. We all lived in that fashion. Boris was the king of it. I've been through depression and sadness, and so as Miles, Boris, never seen him like that once. He was the king. He led the army of peace. People might have thought him to be a certain way, just like me and Miles, and in all honesty, it was all about love, man. It was all about, making everybody know that you love them, And I'm damn proud to be a Sammy, and I know he is too, okay? And I love you all.
If you'd please circle around the fountain. I know there's a lot of us, so get the bottom layer.
I don't think the connection is good down there. You gotta stay up here.
Guys, if we're running out of room, you can move to the tier down so that we all could fit in unison. Step back, go to the next tier.
Should I walk the inside? Yeah. Should I walk the inside of the circle? Make it fit. And let me see if I can get inside. I'm gonna walk around this one.
I need somebody. I'm glad we don't have space. I'm glad.
So dark.